Shabbat Shalom and welcome to all of Tree Community Spokane. The following recording is from this week's teaching on the Parasha or portion from the Torah. You can find more details on this Parasha and the scriptures being referred to in the pull-down menu below.
Today, I always appreciate it when John or Wade have a word to say, and they'll be back again. But today I just wanted to take a quick look here in this passage that we were highlighting. It spoke to me for a couple of reasons. Then Adonai said to Moses, go to Pharaoh. We talked about that a little bit last Shabbat as well. Go to Pharaoh because he has hardened his heart. We discussed that to some degree. We can still do so again today. I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, and so that I might show these my signs in their midst. God was about to demonstrate his power to all those in Israel and those in Egypt as well. And you may tell your son these signs that he's about to show. You can tell your son and your grandchildren what he has done in Egypt. And of course, that is retold over and over again during the Pesach, each and every year, and can be told more times other than that. It says that I have done, as well as my signs that I did among them, so you may know that I am Adonai, that he is the one. And it got me to thinking about both of these men, because we do know then that Moses was a man and Pharaoh was a man. And I was been reading, I've shared with some of you that I've been reading in the book of Hebrews, and it just caught my attention in the book of Hebrews in chapter 11, where it says in this particular chapter, where it talks about a myriad of people of faith. And by the way, we're included in that list. We're not maybe mentioned in this list, but we're in that long list of people of faith. All right. So here it said that by faith, Moses, that's just a wonderful statement. And we have discussed that as far as Moses and Pharaoh, the interchange between Moses and Pharaoh in the Torah. And again, that the word bo, this word go in or enter. I was reading one particular Hebrew teacher who said that the word bo idiomatically is the verb meaning to die. And, when you go into the presence of a father, you feel like you're completely gone because he's the one. We bow before his feet. But here it says, by faith, Moses, when he was born, this is back in Hebrews, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hidden 3 months by his parents because they saw he was a beautiful child and they were not afraid of the king's command. By faith, Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, esteeming the reproach of Messiah. And I said, that's really fascinating that there in the book of Hebrews, looking back, that he was esteeming already the fact of the reality of the Messiah. And so here in the book of Hebrews, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, esteeming the reproach of Messiah greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he looked to the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt. Now, here's another thing that just caught my attention again. Not fearing the wrath of the king. Now, here's the thing. When you look at the situation, I think most people, or most things that you see, or most things that you watch, you see that he was fearful of being caught. But here in the teaching, in the Parasha, it says, not fearing the wrath of the king. Moses was not fearful of the king or of the Pharaoh, but he was fearful of the Creator. For he endured as seeing him who is invisible. By faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he should be destroyed, who destroyed the firstborn should touch them. So back here, when I was thinking about that and just realizing that when we see the story of the deliverance of Israel, we find that both Moses and Pharaoh were grappling with different issues, but both were men who needed to come to an understanding of who the Creator is. Moses had to grapple with the issues of his life. Once coming to know, Yahweh, Moses had to go now and walk in obedience. The issue that Moses had to contend with was walking in obedience, being obedient. He didn't want to do what God asked him to do, what Yahweh said for him to do. But he said, I'm going to do this by faith, as we go back into Hebrews. And so, my friends, you and I need to realize that we may not fear man, for man cannot do anything to us. There's nothing that can be done. Even if they take away our lives, we still then believe in eternity. And so here we see that Moses had to come and walk in obedience and heed the word that was being spoken. And by the reading of the text in the Torah, you sense the awesome fear that Moses had confronted by the revelation of his presence. Now, that is to say that fear is an interesting word in the sense that people say, well, you can't be afraid of who Abba Father is. But at the same time, I know that he holds my life and your life in his hands. That we know that he continues to give us life each and every day. So here we find that Moses had this honoring fear and seeing, listen, if I saw a bush that was burning and heard a voice that was speaking to me, I would be indeed fearful. So here Moses had to deal with the fact of saying, I have to listen because I believe, because it's said here in the scripture that he saw, he realized the Mashiach, and we need to see that it speaks of that in the sense of what it says in Proverbs 1:7, the fear of Adonai is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Now, Pharaoh, on the other hand, the issue was that he came to a point in his life, or was coming to a point in his life, realizing that he was not the end all, because so many people live as Pharaoh lived. I'm the one who says, I'm the one who determines, I'm the one who makes the decision. And we need to realize that there is someone greater than Pharaoh. There is someone greater than Moses. There is someone greater than you. There is someone greater than me. So that we need to come to that realization. And we need to see that Proverbs 9:10, not only Proverbs 1:7, but Proverbs 9:10 says, the fear of Adonai is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So when we come in awe, when we come in reverence, when we come fearfully saying we know that he holds our life in his hand, and that yet Moses was not fearful in the sense sometimes when we think of fear of man, but he truly honored and reverence Abba Father. And we see here that we need to realize that if you're in a position of saying, listen, I'm the one who determines my own destiny, my friends, you'll quickly find out, whether it's within the 2 days, 5 years, somewhere along the line, you're going to find that you cannot control what's taking place. And so we need to gain knowledge only by reading the Torah and reading the scripture and dying to ourselves. That's why I believe the scripture talks about dying to ourselves, because of this sense of the word to go before, to be with the Father, meaning to die to ourselves and to live on to Messiah. So we need to learn how to be like Moses, who, even though he went through a learning process in his life, yet he walked in the obedience of the ways of Adonai. By the way, you read the life of Moses, he wasn't perfect. He had issues that he had to contend with. You and I, my friends, need to learn how to walk in that learning process, realizing that Abba Father has given us his grace and his mercy that it speaks of. On the other hand, Pharaoh had a heart given over to his methods of understanding and always listened to the words of advisors who were not any better off than he was. We see a parallel with the world today. We have people in leadership who are listening to advisors who are thinking wrongly and thinking the wrong things. And they were only thinking of themselves. Ultimately, they're thinking of themselves. They're thinking of their place in the world. Moses was comforted by Aaron, his brother, on the other hand, who also desired to follow Adonai. So may you and I, as his people, come together, comfort each other, strengthen each other, pray for each other, encourage each other, stimulate each other to do the things that Abba Father longs for us to do. May we learn that from what we see in the Torah and what we see here in the teaching in the Brit Hadashah. May the Lord bless you.